Hey, my Taurus babies, this is EJ from Taurota Tarot. I hope everybody is having a good week. Hope everybody had a good Labor Day. So, this is going to be Taurus and Cancer. Sitting in the tree, Kissing, for the month of September 2019. We're going to do 2 cards for overall energy. We'll do 3 cards for the recent past, 3 for current energy, and 3 for future energy. And I will pull oracle cards till they stop. That's how we'll do that. Cut these up. And I'm going to shuffle these other ones a couple more times just because I just did another reading and I want to make sure they're clear. This is the Taurus and Cancer for September 2019. What y'all got going on? Now, there's a happy vibe. Taurus and Cancer. What y'all doing? Wait a minute. Y'all are doing something. All right. Let's get this started. Overall energy for Taurus and Cancer. Heartache and loss. Moving on. Uh-oh. That's not good. Recent past. Partnerships and alliances. Conflict and defeat. Emotional withdrawal. Oh, this is not good. Current energy. Patience. Your centerpiece and challenge card, fertility. Spiritual strength ends, current energy, future energy, destiny, triumph, and positive movement forward. Okay, let's see what we got. So the heartache and loss for the overall energy, Taurus is pulling the Empress. And the moving on is pulling the 3 of coins. That's you, Taurus. So partnerships and alliances pulls the 5 of wands. A reminder, I do my cards straight up. Conflict and defeat, pulling the judgment card. Emotional withdrawal pulls the 9 of cups. Ain't that funny? Patience pulls the 4 of coin. Fertility pulls cups. Spiritual strength pulls the 2 of swords. Destiny pulls temperance. For future energy, triumph pulls the king of wands. Positive movement forward, the 7 of swords. Okay. Well, the happy I feel is down here. Because my senses are just resonating with these 3 cards down here. The rest of this mess, oh man, Taurus, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened with you and your Cancer, but it has broken the poor bull's heart, and that's not good. The overall energy is just what we're talking about. Your confidence, your self-worth is just shook the fuck up. Reversed. I'm just saying. Heartache and loss. For some of you, might have been a third-party situation that you found out about recently. For others, but that's not really even a lot of you. That's not resonating real loud. But for others of you, this is just a situation that just did not work out. Timing was bad. Kids were involved. Parents were involved. Just too many people in the mix. Some of you were married and you were actually looking at a judgment card. Making a decision about whether or not you're going to get a divorce or have made that decision. Others of you have been living together for a while. This ain't no short stint. And you're trying to just pull out of it. But poor bull is just heartbroken. And I feel that part now. But the future is awesome. But let's hold on to that because ain't nobody there yet. The back end of your overall energy. Moving on, some of y'all have just been like, fuck it. Y'all are in making plan stage, trying to make plans to go on that trip with the girls, or if you're a guy, you trying to just go hang out with your crew for a weekend, maybe take a road trip, however that's resonating with you. but trying to get over this cancer in your life that just broke your heart, trying to do your best to move on. That's what you do, exactly what the fuck you doing, trying to do your best to move on. Now, let me back this up. The energy could be reversed. Fortunately, poor bull, it could be you that's just like done. And the cancer's heartbroken, but that's not what I'm getting. Overall energy is loud and clear. That's you. You are hurting towards. Seriously. And it feels like if there hadn't been so many things that had gone wrong in the past with your cancer Taurus, you probably wouldn't be feeling like this, but you don't even want to turn around and go back into it because it was so tedious to deal with. But you still love this person, and I get that. I get that. That's not lost on me. Your recent past, the partnerships and alliances with the Five of Wands on top, somewhere it got confusing. Somewhere in the recent past, it just all got too confusing. Nobody was being honest. Everybody was bullshitting and shaking around. That's you too, Taurus, because nobody wanted to really be vulnerable enough to put their feelings out there. And if you just look at the current energy and what's right underneath it, the Four of Coins is guarded behavior. Y'all didn't just start acting like this. You've been like this. And for whatever it was, however the relationship got started, whatever, a lot of things happened in this relationship. So I'm sure this is not going to resonate with everybody. But a lot of things happened in this relationship. And both of you, quite frankly, are tired. You love each other to death, but you're tired. It's almost like, fuck it, you win. I'm done. No more Mike Tyson fights for me. I'm good. And I'm not saying that anybody was hitting anybody or any of that, but it feels like you've just gone round for round in this relationship. And even though it hurts like a dog, right to the conflict and defeat, some of you have already made this decision, but I'm getting very clearly a lot of you have not made the decision. You don't know what you want to do. You don't know if you want to stay in it and work on it, even though it's drudgery for all the shit that you've been through. And it's just this, a lot of conflict and defeat. Now, I'm saying it's the recent past, but for some of you, it could be right now. Time is fluid. So, some of you, the decision, if you've made it, I would say don't etch it in stone just yet, even though that's a major card. I would still say think about it. I would take the rest of the month, actually, to just think about whatever it is you were determined. You're going to be like, hell no, and no, and no, and no. And no. And that's my final judgment. Thank you. Before you say final, just sit back for a minute and think about what you're being done with. Now, we go back to the overall energy. This is one of them things where it feels like you just need to let it go because it's too much heartache and loss in all of this. Then clearly that's a decision you need to make. Others of you, if you think, you can do this one more time, I would take a minute to separate, to step away from the relationship and make sure that's really what you want to do. But before I make any of those decisions, I would take a minute and step back. Count to 10. And if you still are with whatever decision it is you've made, then go with it. If you are feeling kind of wavery or unsure, then hold off. You don't have to make the decision right now, even though there is a sense of urgency in the air. You don't have to make that decision right this minute. With the emotional withdrawal and the Nine of Cups, if this was reversed, you're just tired because you're tired of trying to manifest. And I know I just said this in the weekend up. You're tired of trying to manifest some shit and you don't see it. And I hear you. But good shit is coming towards. That's the weird, funny part about all of this. For your current energy, again, feeling guarded. But a lot of you are trying to be patient, not only with the people you're dealing with, you're also trying to be patient with yourself. And that's a good thing. And if you kind of float around on YouTube and listen to some of the other readers, a lot of them are talking about self-care and taking care of yourself emotionally and spiritually. And yes, that's what you do need to do. While you're being patient, work on you. and work on this. Because if you're trying to let this little group down here, all that passion and shit, you got to be vulnerable to let some of that in. I'm not saying you got to drop all 4 points. Just maybe drop the biggest one or the 2 littlest ones. But you got to be open to something new. And I'll be the first person to tell you if nobody else will. Sometimes a good thing to get over a relationship is another relationship. I'm just saying, I know a lot of people, I thought you don't have time to process and analyze. And sometimes you don't need all that damn time to process and analyze. Sometimes you just need to move on. Boom. That said, the fertility cup as your centerpiece in your challenge card with the 6 of Cups, it's going a couple different ways. With this Cancer, like I said, and this is underneath the judgment card I was just talking about, you may make a decision to stay there and start it again. Maybe. Others of you may have actual exes coming back on the scene. The challenge is trying to figure out which is the best circle to pick. You see she's got 2 circles around her. And here's fertility card and pregnancy, No, that's not what we're talking about. Starting fresh. Starting something new or starting anew. Yeah, that's that's the question. Do you start something new or do you renew something and start anew? I'm just saying. And that's your challenge. And shit, if that's the only challenge you got, Taurus, with your Cancer, it ain't bad choices. I mean, it could be worse. Seriously. But that's your challenge. Some of you are going to have new people entering your experience down here. Others of you y'all are just stuck on your Cancer. What the hell? And I get that. And if that's where you are, you've got free will to do this. But if it's breaking you down where you're not happy, Taurus, because the whole point here is to be happy. If you're not happy in this relationship because you've gone through so much that it's just like, fuck it, I don't want to do it anymore, don't go backwards. You just make that decision not to go backwards. Pick that bigger circle and go brand new. It is what it is. At the end of your current energy with the spiritual strength, here's where you just need to make sure you see reality and you're not sugarcoating some shit, especially those of you that are considering maybe keeping the Cancer, even though you're hurt and bruised and wounded and just out of it. Don't not see the reality of the situation. If it's fucked up, it's fucked up. Call it that. And move from that point. But don't try to shield yourself. And sometimes even being guarded, you kind of put on horse blinders. So you don't have to hear, see, or do certain things because they trigger too much shit. All I'm saying here is, and let's just start here. You're going to need your spiritual strength. Especially if you get into a situation where you just don't want to see the reality of what's going on. Because you can be that hurt and not want to deal with it. I know people like that. They've been in some shit with people, relationships, and it's like, you're still there? Are you kidding? And people that do that because they care about the person that much. All I'm saying to you right here is just don't be blind to the reality of the situation. Don't get stuck on all the handful of good times and not see every other agony that went on in the relationship. And get back in it and forget and then hit a bump in the road and get mad all over again. So try to see the situation as clearly as you can. This is sword energy, so this is mental. Definitely mental in your head. So try to see the situation as it is for what it is and not what you want it to be or what you thought it should have been. None of that. Just see it for what it is. Future energy, I'm sorry. Destiny and temperance, fuck. That's like a big bowl of brownie batter. That balance, though. You got to come with that balance. And that it's sitting underneath this card, I don't think is a mistake. In order to have balance, you gotta be doing shit in moderation. Hello. And the bigger note here for you, Taurus, with your Cancer is about keeping your emotions in check. Because I know your Cancer is already emotional because they're Cancer. They're a water sign. That balance, though, is going to bring you here to your destiny. And I know a lot of y'all like, what the fuck? I just break up with somebody and meet my destiny. It happens. It happens. Could be an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, very confident person. Has that outward charm, not necessarily so much of the player energy on this one, but just has just real lovable kind of person. You know what I'm saying? Not so much of the player. I'm not picking up that kind of energy off of this, but a personable, genuinely lovable, the person that everybody loves, but probably the person nobody would really think to date. Coming your way, baby. Coming your way. And that's a good thing. And shit, the hell. What other card would you want that to sit on? If you decide to go in this direction, Taurus, leave your Cancer and you decide you want to do this, you can. But be mindful of where you are emotionally. And if you need to slow this down, this is future energy. If you need to slow it down, slow it down. At the end of all of it, positive movement forward. Don't sabotage what you're working on. And sitting underneath this one, seeing the reality of the situation. But don't sabotage the work that you've done. So any healing that you've done, don't fuck it up by overthinking. Because if you do, you will slow down any positive movement you have coming your way. So try not to get stuck in this energy where you're overthinking the answer, or you're trying to puzzle out some old shit, or trying to figure out some. Don't overthink it. Please don't overthink it. Go with the flow. And I think I'm going to say that just about the whole reading. Go with the flow. Whatever you're feeling, Taurus, about your Cancer, if it feels like a situation at this point in time, you need to let go. You need to make that judgment call. If you haven't made it, by all means, do it. If you are feeling, though, that this is something that is still worthy of your attention, and you're looking at this shit without the rose-colored glasses on, without the tears in your eyes, you're just looking at the reality of the whole situation, stay. Work it out. Do what's going to be best for you both. But I feel your pain, Taurus. I can't imagine. And you're just tired. It's just like the straw that broke. Whatever happened, whatever last thing that happened between you and your Cancer just feels like the straw that broke the camel's back. Taurus, you have the option to move forward if you like. You'll have more options probably as the month goes along. I would just say, if you're going to cut clean with your Cancer, go ahead. If you're going to cut with them, just cut clean. Don't leave anything hanging. Those of you that are already in moving on, making plans mode, make sure that before you get into anything, make sure the things that need to be taken care of. If you have a joint checking account, I'm going to just run down the list as it comes to my head. If you have a joint checking account, make sure it's cleared up. If you have bills together in both of your names, make sure you get that shit cleared up. If you have a car with car insurance and one belongs to one person and something belongs to somebody else, make sure you get that shit cleared up. That's what I'm talking about moving forward. Not so much the emotional piece, because a lot of you have probably grieved and processed throughout the whole relationship. So you leaving, and those of you that are planning on leaving, it's not a whole lot of emotional shit for you. Yes, it's painful. Yes, it hurts, but you're not going to get so stuck that you're not going to accept meeting someone new. Unless, of course, you're too guarded. So, Taurus, I'm sorry. Y'all, there's bullshit going on with your Cancer. But try to maintain some balance. Try to maintain your focus. like I said, for a lot of you, and that's probably why I was picking up on this energy down here as I was doing the cards. A lot of you have processed all of this and you're done. You ain't trying to go back. You ain't trying to talk none of that shit. Again, make sure you have all the business aspects of your relationship cleared up. Got kids that are in school, and you got names of people that can come to the school to get kids. Make sure that's updated. If you're breaking up with someone, I'm just going to throw that up against the wall. I don't know who needs to hear that. Make sure that piece is done as well. If you have kids that have been involved with this relationship, you may want to sit down with them if you feel they're old enough to understand and explain to them what's going on. Because for some of you, your kids may be kind of confused, that energy right there, as to why Alana and her boyfriend fighting. Might not quite understand, especially if you've kept things from your children. So if you've got kids that you think are old enough to understand what's going on, you may want to go ahead and tell them so that they are aware. Let's see what the oracles have for guidance. The Sun Dancers, the Web Weaver, the Lady of Lightning, and the Desert Prince. Ooh, I ain't seen none of these before. Ooh, 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 ooh. So the Sun Dancers, joyful activity, celebration of life and abundance. Celebration of life, Taurus. Regardless, if it didn't work, you still are walking away with more knowledge than you did walking into the relationship. And that is something you can never just laugh at and walk away. If you've learned something, that's valuable. So, a celebration of life, yeah. I think you need to be grateful for whatever you've learned, whatever you've been through. Be grateful for the experience so that you can release whatever bullshit. So if you want to get into a new relationship, you can at least do so knowing that you have been thankful for whatever you've gone through to get you to this point. The Web Weaver. Synchronicity, divine intelligence, cause and effect. Cause and effect on that one. This is definitely a thing about cause and effect. Something happened, something else happened because this something happened. And that's where a lot of you are. The divine intelligence of this is just really another way of saying the universe has you, and you have all the answers within you, Taurus. So you really don't need to look way far away for the answers you're looking for. The Lady of Lightning, surprises. What is that? Sacred times, shock, total paradigm shift. I'm going with surprises because I think some of you are going to be surprised at the people that come into your life. And it's really going to be a matter of judgment card. Once you do this, that's really going, you're not going to have to really do anything else. Once you get it in your head, this is what you're doing, you really don't have to have a conversation with the Cancer. But once you get that energy that this is what I'm doing, I think you got some good surprises coming, Taurus. The least of these, just saying, the Desert Prince, survival and false promises. I think a lot of you can go with both. You've been surviving and you've been living on false promises. And now it's time for all of that to end. It just is what it is. Take your time, Taurus. Take your time. Like I said, if you've already made your decision, but you haven't, I might wait till the end of the month before I actually open my mouth. The energy's gonna change. It just is. So if you can slow the process down, but don't do anything to force the situation to be one way or the other. Just don't. That's the universe's way of trying to get you on the right path. And I know the destiny card popped up here. Oh, that's patience. Where's my destiny? There it is. That's the universe's way of clearing things out. So don't force. If the situation with your Cancer is a thing where you feel like you're forcing it to make it happen, don't force it. If it's not happening, just let it go naturally. If there's room there for you to deal with some renewal or a reconciliation, you'll feel it. But anything that feels like it's a struggle and you are getting overwhelmed and frustrated, let it go. Because that's probably something you're not supposed to be doing at this point. I'm going to leave your reading here, Taurus. I love you. I hope you guys have a good weekend. I will talk to you soon. Bye, y'all.